how do we get around that? Line of sight, please.
Give up a max like this.
So, my name is Nahiko. I'm a hacker as well as an artist, and today I will explain to you why your NFTs will be worth nothing. Obviously, I chose that title a couple months ago, so they're probably already worth nothing right now. So, you can follow me on Twitter at Nahiko, Nahiko, and this QR code should be on every slide, so feel free. So, to start, we'll have to dive deep into what NFTs really are. And to do that, I'll use Michael here. You may know Michael. Michael works in an office called the Ethereum blockchain, okay? His job is being the CryptoPunk smart contract. So he's like in a big open space with all the other smart contracts. And in his little cubicle, he answers people who call him. He has this little page, like they always do, you know, when you call them, you ask stuff, they don't even think about it. They have answers written there. This is the smart contract code, okay? So, let's look at a typical day for Michael. 9 a.m., Jim calls him, okay? Note that Jim owns CryptoPunk number 69. He asks Michael, can you please transfer punk number 55 to Pam? What does Michael do? He looks at the page, right? The page says, if they want to transfer a punk, you need to make sure they own the NFT, okay? So he looks at the list of owners and sees that Jim doesn't own punk number 55 and answers, sorry, I can't do that, okay? Simple. If instead Jim had asked, can you please transfer punk number 69 to Pam? Then Michael's answer would have been, sure, it's done. Okay? I'm going easy on you. Okay, now 1 p.m., Dwight calls Michael, and typical Dwight, he asks, Michael, I need to know what punk number 69 looks like. Okay? What does Michael do? You guessed it, he looks at the page. And the page says, if someone wants to see the NFT, you just send it to them, no requirements. Okay? So this is what happens. Right? No. In fact, this is not what happens. This is what happens. I don't know if you see it clearly, but he's sending back a link, and I'll get to why a little bit later. He's sending back a link, and when Dwight clicks on that link, he sends a request to a server, right? This is what links are for. Basically, they're always a link to something else, and in this case, for most NFTs, it's a server like a Google Cloud server or whatever. Let's say this is my server as I'm the artist. And when he sends that request, it sends back the NFT. Easy. Now, if I forget to pay my Google Cloud subscription, the server goes down and the NFT is empty. Right? Terrible. What happens is you still have the NFT on chain, but no one knows what it contains. So you want to avoid that, obviously, because it's probably worth nothing at this point. And to do this, most NFTs right now, they use something called IPFS. How it works is Dwight now sends 2 requests, or many more. And those 2 computers are going to check if they have the NFT or the data. If they don't, they ask a friend. If he doesn't have it, he asks a friend, etc., etc. And it spreads throughout the network, or not. All right. It spreads throughout the network until someone has it and sends it to Dwight. Now you see we solved the previous issue because now if one computer goes down, if one computer goes down, Dwight still gets the data, right? But this assumes that at least one computer has the data, and probably more. And it doesn't mean that one of those computers will store 5 megabyte image of something for free. Why would they do that, right? What happens is they will ask for payment, and they aggregated themselves into companies. So to summarize, you either have your own IPFS node or server or whatever, and if you turn your computer off, then your NFT is empty, or you pay a company like Kenyatta that has a lot of IPFS nodes, and they will store it for you. But spoiler, if they go down, so does your NFT. And I didn't talk about it, but they're specifically designed blockchains for storing data. But spoiler again, if that blockchain goes down, so does your NFT. So, remember why we do all that. This is all because Michael is sending a link, right? Why doesn't he send just the data? Well, remember where Michael is. He's in his little cubicle, and the only thing he has is this page. And the page is approximately 24 kilobytes in size. So that means that what he sends cannot be more than that. And if that seems like a lot, then you may know that this here, which doesn't look very good, is 32 kilobytes in size. That's already more. And you have to remember the page needs to contain all the instructions for Michael to answer on the phone. So does that mean that you're fucked if you want to post an NFT on Ethereum? Well, not really. In fact, this fits inside 24 kilobytes. This looks like a bunch of text and useless, but if you feed it to a computer, you get this. I know this fits inside a smart contract because it's one of mine. It's basically an on-chain visitor's book. Now you see big names here, and obviously this is one of the reasons why I don't want this to get lost, being stored on some Google server or whatever. I want this to be stored for what I call eternity, right? Until Ethereum itself dies. This is why I have it stored on Ethereum. And this may look ugly, but bear with me. If you dig deeper into SVGs and other file formats to try to compress the data, you end up with something like this. This is another one of my projects in collaboration with Dive Young, and it's 100% on-chain, and it's still realistic art, right? And the beauty of this is you don't rely on any parallel services. Your NFT will live as long as Ethereum lives on. Hopefully, hundreds of years. Let's see. So, before I leave you, I want you to remember one thing, and it's this one. However your NFTs are stored, so this goes to collectors, developers, artists, whatever. You need to know how they are stored and act accordingly, right? If your artwork is not supposed to live on for hundreds of years, then it's fine, I guess. But if not, please make sure that it's stored accordingly and you know it. I've heard there have been great talks today about projects that help you with doing backups of your storages. I'm not going to name them here for showing, but you'll find them for sure. Anyway, thank you everyone, and have a good day at NFT NYC.